Okay,
And then you hit that, and then you hit it again.
okay, and then you're able to.
I can't. We won't hit it all.
Okay, great. We'll do our best. So I'm going to just reiterate again and welcome. We're exploring the three issues of practice: training your mind, training your heart, doing it, how to do it, which we're going to practice more today in the second class. Understand the teachings, the 7 intentions that we talked about last week. We'll go over them again and apply them in our lives. And then explore how to be with the challenges that come our way and learn to adapt and adjust and accommodate. And as I shared last week, our awareness teaches us how to respond instead of react, especially when there are difficulties. And that's where we need to train ourselves to develop new habits, new ways of being. And the context as we age is resilience. You know, I know in this audience, you heard the John Cameron Swayze commercials with Timex magazine in the 50s and 60s. Take a licking and keep on ticking. That's kind of the philosophy here, right? In that sense. Okay. And as I mentioned last week, how to oi without the they. We're going to have aches and pains, but we welcome them. We learn from them. We open to them. And we shift how we choose to be with them, mindfully and compassionately. So let's continue just to go around, briefly of just one of those 3 things that you got from last week, one of the teachings, one issue about the practice, one way that you might apply it in your life, just to kind of bring us into the moment. How are you doing with it? Yeah. Right? Did you practice? Was there elements of practice? A little bit of practice. Good. We don't have to be perfect, but we stay with it. Was there one of the intentions that made sense to you, or that you work on, or that you understand would be helpful in your life to work with? Which one of the 7 intentions? Which one? Beginner's mind. Yeah. That's a challenge. That's like, can we see each day new? Can we see each day fresh? Can we see that person, spouse, neighbor, relative, child, grandchild, whatever, sibling? Can we see them in a new way, even though we've known them for 30, 40, 50, 60 years? Can we learn something new? Can we have a beginner's mind? That's a real challenge. And it makes life interesting too. And that's what the meditation is. What's happening in this moment? Be here now, right now, not what I want to have happen, not what happened yesterday, right now, what's happening? I got an itch, I got an ache, I feel good, sad. It doesn't matter. Serenity is not freedom from the storm, it's peace amidst the storm. I know you know people like that who, we all want good times, we all want happiness, we all want peace, we all want health. And we get that in life. And sometimes we don't get that. Sometimes we get stress and difficulties. Can we not get so attached when things are good, and not get so, I hate this, push this away when things are difficult? That's the challenge. To both be sad when it's time to be sad and know how to be sad without falling in the hole, wallowing in it, and to be happy when it's time to be happy, when there's a graduation, when there's a wedding, when you're feeling good. So what happens is sometimes we get caught and we pull the past and the future into the present moment, and we miss it. Miss the good that's right here, right now. Sweeping anything under the rug, We're not getting lost in anything. So these are important things to keep in mind. And when I'm teaching you, simple technique that you're always able to choose, how do I want to deal with this? Instead of, I don't like this, get out of here. Or I like this, I don't want it to ever change, I'm going to hold on to it. That's pretty much why we suffer. As opposed to what's the wisest and most compassionate way that I can be with this situation or this person. And that's really the confidence we have. Like, no matter what, that watch is going to work. Take a lick at it and keep on ticking. Even though some of us have maybe done it have had challenges as difficult as a watch dropping out of the sky. And we've had to respond. We've had to be resilient. And these are the tools. We end up landing on our feet with our mind and heart. Young man, the sailor around the world. Wonderful, wonderful.
And it was a great that we're all there.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. So thank you for sharing all of that. And these are the challenges that we face in life. And this is why we train to be aware of what's happening. And we explore how can I be with it. And we train in compassion. So when I guide us all in the meditation, you shared, I have to deal with my body and my aches and pains and the fact that I'm getting old. The thought that my brother just passed away and the grief and the sadness about that. Or questioning and the wondering about my own mortality, which is of course, yeah. And so we can't sweep this under the rug. We can't make believe that it's not happening. That generally doesn't help. Doesn't mean we don't want to do what you said, let it go and be in the moment, but we can't let it go in denial or avoidance or running away from it. It's the facing of it with support and love. And one of the things is when I hear you, it supports me, knowing I may not be going through that now, but I may not be that far later when I lose a sibling or when my knee hurts or when I Mhm.
People were telling
Wonderful.
Yeah, what a great guy.
Yes. Right. And we can smile in the midst of I can't stand up because my knee hurts. So I'll just share with you, relate to you, one of my sort of passions and purpose in my work is because my dad passed away at a very young age, at the age of 57. So I'm 73 now. I've made it 16 years past him, and I lived with that for a while. But of course, part of his situation and why I got into meditation and mindfulness and serenity was struggling from the trauma of war. And I'll do that to introduce a fighter pilot from World War II and the Grand Marshal of the Westport Veterans Day Parade, Memorial Day Parade. Nick, how you doing today, Nick? It's wonderful to have you here in class.
I enjoy it.
In the same, most of them in the same box, yeah.
But we could.
We pull ourselves out. Well, listen to you. Listen to me, but listen to you. That's what I'm teaching.
Great.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
I
that.
have been able.
Well, we play. You'll get there. We'll play. We'll play. They have a. I was there yesterday, and maybe we'll go together. Actually, we're gonna arrange a date. So there's a place now. It's virtual golf. Well, actually, real golf where you can play any course in the world. They have one in Fairfield and Stanford, and it's a computer. And you see the course and you hit the ball and it goes as far as you would hit it. I mean, the technology is ridiculous. So we're going to go play St. Andrews, the oldest golf course in the world. We're definitely going to make that arrangement. So we're going to play golf together that way. Okay. We'll do that. But I loved what you just said. We're all in the same boat. We're all human. Your story is different than your story is different than my story. Our aches and pains may be a little different, but we're human. Anybody here lost a loved one in their life? This is it. Anybody here not concerned about their own health and about their own mortality and how long am I gonna be here and how am I gonna do? This is what we're teaching, is how to be with that, so that we can also, at the same time, enjoy old friends telling stories of when life was good and even be good in the moment. Yeah.
I don't know. Revolve.
I'm not gonna repeat that onto the okay, well, that's a good story. In any event, Nick, what you shared, it's really important that we're all in it together and we listen to each other and just telling our difficulties. I think I shared this. I may have shared this last week, but I'll share it again because it's really profound. I had a story about veterans who suffered from post-traumatic stress. And unfortunately, the trauma of war, the number one cause of death of our soldiers from Iraq and Afghanistan, suicide and pain. And we have all these therapies and treatments, and some of them are helpful. And I've learned many of them, and I apply them in different contexts. I'm not treating veterans of war necessarily. I've had a few in my practice over the years. And in this particular story, it was called PAWS. It was a story that the government is now funding a program to train therapy dogs to work with veterans. And we all know the value of a puppy dog. In our Thursday class, which you're all welcome to, the free class on Thursdays, a woman in the class just got a puppy dog, and she's talking about how it changed her life and changed her husband's life and their relationship and puppy dog. So anyway, in this particular story, she was sitting next to her dog, not a puppy, and you could feel the connection between them. And she told her story of pain, illness, surgeries, addiction, drugs, alcohol, treatments, suicidal issues. And here she was smiling with her dog. And she said, "This dog saved my life." And she was happy and in the moment and like a new person. And I was saying to myself, I was sort of joking. I said, "Hey, Paul, what did that dog do? Did he do EMDR? That's a treatment, a trauma treatment. What trauma treatment did the dog do to heal her? For her to say, "He saved my life." I'd love it if, like, every patient I see, say, "He saved my life." What did I do? I go studying all of these treatments so I can save people's life. And actually, it's what we're learning in the class. Think about unconditional presence. That dog didn't judge. That dog accepted her. That dog was present with her in the moment. There was a sense of trust. There was a beginner's mind. There was a connection. There was acceptance. The dog wasn't trying to fix her. As hard as we try as doctors and therapists to be loving, we're still in the role of, you got a problem and I'm fixing it. And we want it fixed. We need to do that on the one level, but we need to be mindful and compassionate in the process of our relationship. Whatever one might need to do for their knee or their back, can we do it with love? Not, "I hate you, you're ruining my life, get out of here." So when I watched that, I could really feel, and then there was a sense of gratitude that she had. That relationship of this dog, and I shared it with a patient last week too. And this was a person who had a heart attack and barely survived it. Now was doing better and wanted to take better care of himself and learn to deal with his stress and eat a healthier diet and the like. And he told me the story when he first came home from the hospital after this traumatic experience of surviving the heart attack. And he's okay, but he's got to take care. And he came home and he said he put his hands on his head like this and he was weeping. And he has a dog, and the dog came up and nudged him with his nose to move his hands out of the way to kind of lick the tears on his. It's like he said, "My dog knew I was sad and unhappy, and just I could feel his concern for me and his love for me." And in medicine, they have Reiki now, healing hands and Reiki. And the only training in Reiki is to love, to be loving, to put your hands in a way that you're not trying to fix them or cure them, or may even make it better, although of course that's what you want to do. So what those 7 intentions are on the board and what we're teaching in mindfulness and compassion, can you do that with yourself? Can you be that for yourself? That's the medicine. And I accept my own destiny, or my own fate with love. I love myself the way I am, and I want to fix my back and help my knees and deal with my depression and take better care of myself and forgive my spouse or whatever it may be. But can we do it from a way of being that's unconditional love? When you see that, that's really the medicine. Relationship, connection with ourselves and with each other. So when we hear everybody speak, and I do this in class, who do you want to trade with? Anybody? We got our own stuff. We got our own suffering. And it's our challenge to find, how do I work with that? With my family, with my supports, with my faith, my religion, my God, my philosophy, and when I'm teaching a little meditation and a little intentions and some compassion. Okay. How are you doing? Good. Yes. So you have a relationship, caregiver and person getting the care, but he's giving to you too. So when I'm working as a doctor, therapist, or teacher, I'm learning. I'm teaching me. Yeah, lovely family. And there's the connection. Right? I know you like her. Are you going to ask her to marry? Are you a little too young for you, or what do you think? We're not going that route. She's got her own. But you, I'm joking, but you can feel the love. That's the medicine. That's the medicine, really. And so that's part of it, is you know, one other story. And I emphasize this because when we went around, it's like, you know, how many people really actually just meditated 10 minutes a day, 144th of your day? Nobody. I mean, I'm a good teacher, but nobody listens to me. My patients, you need to do this every day for a half hour. They don't do it. Not because they can't or shouldn't. It's not easy. But understanding this, that's why I emphasize the teachings as much as the practice. Because sometimes we do the practice like that's going to cure me. No, to heal you is this relationship with yourself. And I think you can appreciate when a patient comes, whatever the ache or pain or illness or fear is I want to fix it. As a doctor, what's the right treatment? But how are you with it? What's your relationship with it? I teach you to welcome it, accept it, and have a beginner's mind, and find peace in the midst of it. That's a challenge because it's always something. One of the handouts, which we'll get in a minute, is the guest house, where we have to welcome what comes. Remember, what's his name? Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And that's really it. Every minute is like, what am I going to get today? What's gonna happen on the next hole or around the horizon when I'm sailing? You know? Or at the senior center today, who am I going to meet? What's exciting is going to happen. I do want to share this story about relationship because it's really the essence of the practice. And it was a woman. I'll tell the story very, very quick. She was obese. How do people feel about obesity? They don't like it. It's not good for you. It's not good for your heart, not good for your blood sugar. It's a sequelae and precondition for a lot of other ailments in life. So everybody needs, at best they can, a lot of different issues that cause that. But how was she feeling? She hated herself. Why? Because she lost weight and gained it and lost weight. She did Oprah and she did Weight Watchers and she did Nutrisystem and she did this one and that one and this diet and that diet. If you went to the Westport Center, Westport Library this weekend, they had a book sale. The number one table was on nutrition, and it was like all diet books that people bought, did, and failed, and they threw it away. Not because diets don't work, because you have to change your relationship. And so I said to her, long story, well, I may be able to give you a more individualized diet, but I'm not going to give you a diet until you can tell me you want to lose weight because you love yourself. I said, let's work on that. And she had to face that and learn, okay, I want to lose weight because I love myself, not because I'm fat and ugly and I hate myself. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to be happier and healthier because I care about myself. I love myself. And even if my knee hurts, my knee needs love, even if it's causing my problem. You see the difference? I can still want to heal it, even if it's something I want to get rid of. I can do it with love. Okay? Would you like to say hi?
Someone actually in my um, work very hard
Yes.
on no,
So thank you for sharing that. And that's another aspect of what we go through in life. Aches and pains and suffering even in our bodies from illness and disease, in our minds from the challenges of growing old and our memories, all of the difficulties. And as you shared, in the heart, when we get hurt, when we get abandoned, or someone does or says something to us that's hurtful. And the challenge is we can't let it take over our lives, get lost in the pain of it, and we can't push it away and zone out from it. We can't freak out from it. So we have to find a way to be present with it. And do a little of that too in the meditation. You name it to tame it. I'm hurt. Be with my hurt. I be with that without reacting with anger, even if part of me is also angry that they said that. And so I'm hurt. And then I'm sad. I'm grieving. I feel a loss. This is our challenge. How do we be with the emotions that arise in the challenges of life? And that's pretty much what we all struggle with, because nobody teaches us that. And then we end up going to the doctor's office with an ache and a pain, and it's got to be treated and it gets diagnosed. But really, underneath it, sometimes is what happened. Where's the real hurt? My dad's heart disease that he had was because of the trauma of the war and the pain and of suffering that came from. He was on the beaches of Normandy. He survived, thankfully, because I was born after. So when you shared that, and so happy to hear, yeah, it's not easy to accept, to let go, to forgive. When we do that, we see it hurts. We face the hurt. And that's where the compassion comes in. We have to be kind to ourselves and not beat ourselves up. And as we do that, we get more and more confidence that I can face anything. So in my career, I see people with mind, body, mental, emotional, physical, whatever it may be. And if I can, let's treat it. Let's get over it. Let's heal it. And many times it's things that there's no magic cure for. You can't. And what I've learned is I've had so many people say, nothing you can do about it. They went to the doctor. I said, no, there's a lot you could do about it. You could learn how to be with it. You could accept it. You could be at peace with it. You could learn from it. Tuesdays with Maury and his illness, read that book, and how he dealt with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. So Norman Cousins, Anatomy of an Illness, where he used laughter to heal himself. Doctors told him, nothing you could do. But it's not about doing, it's about being. It's about how to be. That's what we're learning here. Most of you have learned all of that in many areas of your life. That's how you got through to here. You had to face challenges and difficulties and wars and relationships and struggles and all of the pains of life. And you still have more tests. And there's still more right now to enjoy and be at peace with. Both can happen at the same time. Because when you open your heart to face the difficulty, yeah, the sadness and the pain is there, and so is the love. When you shared poignantly losing your brother, horrible pain and sadness, grief on the one hand. On the other, opening your heart to how much love and connection and gratitude that you had him for 84 years or whatever. You follow what I'm saying? I can't do this without knowing that that's where the healing is. Because I want to help in that way, and I want to take away your aches and pains and sadnesses, but if I try, I get you out of the healing of it. So I wasn't thinking to say this, but when my dad passed away, suddenly on the operating table having bypass surgery because he didn't survive surgery. And for me, it was a big shock and trauma at the time as a young man. And I just could not stop crying. It just like opened me up to a grief. I had never felt that kind of grief before. I couldn't hold it in. I didn't know. I just was in pain. What I'm sharing with you is at the moment of that, at that grief, my heart was broken. And I felt the pain, but it was amazing. I felt love for everybody at the funeral at the cemetery. And that was a weird feeling too, that my heart was so open that I loved everybody. And it was a weird feeling. I was in pain, I was crying, I was grieving, but I felt a lot, I felt more alive. And I'm not happy, but it was a wonderful feeling to be open in that way, in the midst of that kind of pain. And I've never forgotten it. I'm telling it to you now in that way. And I know that when we let ourselves open to our difficulties in this way, it heals us. It hurts, but it heals us. So what you shared in terms of what you're going through now it's hard. It is hard, and there's healing, and there's healing. So one more person, and then we're going to do some meditation, and then we'll take a little break, get the handouts, and finish. Is that okay? No. Yeah, hi again.
Over 20 years, we used to things together, we had friends in common, we had activities in common. It continued, but at some point, started to isolate that. But still, I don't the other thing. And it was really hurtful. And then I realized that she really didn't accept me because I'm not 40 years. And for some reason, whatever, nothing to her. But my personality, whatever. And it's helpful. When I don't want that helpful myself.
Right.
But she really doesn't know about questions. I don't know. So I accepted it. And it's
So that's an important context, that you recognize the pain of it, you accept it, and what you shared is also true, that our first response is to protect, is to push it away or hold back or take it personal. Yeah, exactly. And what you shared was also true, that she even said it's not personal. It's about me, not you, but it's about you remind me of someone else, and therefore I'm reacting. So we sometimes take things personal that aren't. And then we find that balance point of what's the wisest way to respond. You found the middle ways, like, I'm not going to reject her completely. I'm not going to stay open and subject myself to getting hurt, judged, criticized, but we'll stay friends and I'll accept that. And I live with the hurt a little bit, but you found a way to be at peace in the storm, is I think the comment there. So I hope you see from all the sharing, we're all the same. There's nobody who's not going to have what any of us have, because we're human. And in our bodies, in our minds, and in our hearts. And the challenge, can we learn and train our mind and heart to be with it, to respond to it, to choose a wise course of being in the midst of it, so we can be here now and also afford ourselves and let ourselves feel the goodness that's there. So once you accepted that part of that relationship, as you said, then you can appreciate the other that keeps you connected. And okay, we can't have that level, but this is good. I can be friends in this way. So I'm going to practice the meditation with you now, and we're going to move from that into a compassion practice, both at the same time, of being kind to ourselves. It'll be about 10, 15 minutes of guided practice. And then we'll take a little bit of break, and then we'll finish up with more discussion and sharing and questions. Okay? So let's find a meditative posture. And you close the eyes, and you wanna sense as though, thanks, as though you're like an instrument, like a violin bow or a guitar string that has to be tuned just right. So you don't want it too tight. So we're not gonna, I'm meditating and I'm gonna sit straight and be perfect. No, but you don't want to be too loose either. So this is not, oh, I'm meditating, I just want to relax and stuff. So there's a middle way of not too tight and not too loose. Okay? And you want to be comfortable, obviously, with our bodies and our age, but find a comfortable posture, but make a little bit of an effort to sit straight. Yes. Yes. Oh, don't forget that. That's good too. So this is not to replace anything. You can still go to church on Sunday and whatever kind of meditation. This will enhance that. So you don't have to replace it, but practice this and see how this goes, and maybe you can integrate it with what you do. It's not, this isn't meant to separate you from anything else that you already are doing. It's meant to add that. And bring some mindfulness in, bring some compassion in. So whatever meditation you're doing is wonderful. And practice this and see how they go together, or how you might integrate them in your way. Another reason why I emphasize the philosophy as much and the teachings as much as the practice. So close the eyes and find that posture, not too tight, not too loose. But my suggestion is to try to put the feet on the floor. And you can lean back, but sitting up straight, the head, neck, and spine is in a straight line. Again, not too tight. You're going to play beautiful music, not too loose. And you might want to just tuck the chin in just a little so your chin is parallel. And you're going to bring awareness to your breath. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm in this moment. I'm being here now. Where are you? You're right here. What time is it? Now. What are you doing? Being. There is no moment in your life where you're not being here now. And we want to bring awareness to it. And come into the moment. Tune into the breath, where life is happening, where healing happens, where love happens. Right here, right now, with you and your breath. And in this practice, and there are many, many tools, techniques, but I'm going to suggest choose a point of focus, of attention for your mind, either the air entering and leaving the nostrils, or noticing on every breath the chest rising and falling. Inhaling, the abdomen goes up, exhaling, it goes down. And what's important, we're not trying to breathe a certain way. We're not trying to make anything happen. Just letting things be. We're welcoming, we're observing, we're surrendering to the moment. So we close our eyes, we tune into the breath, we have a posture where we're meditating. And then we bring aware of our breath, come into the moment, and just scan our bodies. And this brings our attention into the body a little bit, ground us in the body, the feet, ankles, calves. And there may be itches there, aches there, issues there. That's okay. Just bring awareness, noticing the body. Hips and the buttocks, pelvic area. So this is calming us down just to be in the moment with the body, whatever's happening. Remember, we're not pushing anything away. We're not getting lost in anything. We're not trying to make anything happen. Just being with things as they are. We're starting with the body. Noticing the chest and abdomen as we inhale and exhale. Now, we're training your mind. The mind is like a puppy dog. It wanders unless you train it. So your mind is going to wander. So bring it back to the breath. That's what the practice is. Let the mind wander. Bring it back. Oh, there it goes again. Come on back. We don't judge it. We don't force it. We just notice, oh, so the practice is not, I got to stay on the breath. Oh, the practice is, oh, I went away, come back. Same as the puppy dog. We don't chuck the puppy dog to stay by our side when we take it for a walk. We let it go and we train it by pulling it back to remind it, you went away again, come on back. And we relax the shoulders and the face and the eyes. And when we bring awareness of the mind to the body relaxes without trying. We're in the moment, and it's sort of like without forcing, we're turning that mind off, that like think and judge and plan. And then we can even allow ourselves to be aware of the mind, noticing what's going on up there. Let the mind relax a little. And then you notice the heart. Feelings, we heard stories people shared, some stories of challenges, of difficulties in their life, of losses, of pains, joys and happiness too. And we open to all of it. So we have this heart that holds all of this emotion, all of this feelings. So breathe in and out of your heart too. And when we meditate, that's all we're doing is noticing what's going on in the body, noticing what's going on in the mind, thoughts and images and ideas. We're noticing what's going on in the heart. I feel happy, I feel sad. And noticing that and coming back to the breath. Coming back to the moment. Just be here now. That's the practice. Like I said, 10 minutes a day to start. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to ring the bell. It's going to signify 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes of sitting still, observing your breath. We're training the loving, in a loving way, the puppy dog mind. It's going to wander. It's going to think about this and that. It's going to worry about this and that. It's going to plan this and that. It's going to forget that you're meditating. That's what the mind does. And you're going to go, oh, I'm practicing mindfulness. Come on back. And you'll stay with the breath. Observe the air entering and leaving the nostrils, or one or the other, not both, or the chest and abdomen, whichever feels more comfortable. Pay attention. And if you're training the mind to focus, to be in the moment, to be in the now, to live our life, face our difficulties, and to face our joys and to be with this experience with unconditional presence, just like I shared with a puppy dog would be. That dog was with that veteran, unconditionally loving and present with these intentions, unjudging, patient. So a few moments of mindfulness. Observe your breath. Sit still, but not too tight and not too loose. Tune into the breath. Like the puppy dog, the breath, the mind will wander. Come back to the breath. A few minutes. When the mind wanders, the breath is always there to return to come home, to come back to be here now, be in the present moment, observing the breath, noticing then where does the mind go when it leaves the breath? Thought, sensation in another part of the body, a feeling, just noticing what pulls you away from attention on the breath. And even if you can't decipher that, just knowing that you're not on the breath, just go back. That's it. Keep it simple. Pull that puppy dog very gently. Reminder, come back to my side. Love, come back to the breath. Another moment or two, and then we'll practice some compassion, some kindness for ourselves. Keep the awareness within the breath. But now I want you to invite you to bring your attention to your heart center. Bring your awareness there and continue your breathing, but imagine that your breath and your point of connection in your breathing is with the heart opening. Breathing in each breath into the heart, breathing out. Breathing in and out of your heart center. Practice a few moments of training the heart in kindness and compassion. Mindfulness trains the mind to pay attention, to be in the moment, to observe what's happening, to bring the 7 intentions to the practice. And now the heart. It was shared. People have losses, lost loved ones. There's grief, relationship issues causing hurt, also sadness or anger, frustration. Physical ailments, issues, pains that are difficult to be with. Whatever it may be, whatever challenge showing up in our minds, in our hearts, in our bodies, in our lives. To bring kindness, to bring compassion. The mind creates the abyss and the heart crosses it. We always have this heart of compassion that can hold the difficulty with kindness and caring. Thinking of that puppy dog with unconditional love. So I'm going to ask you, if you'd like, choose an issue or something happening that you would like to open to, that you'd like to reflect on, be with in this way, with kindness and compassion. It doesn't have to be a number one issue. It can just be something going on in your life, in your body, in your mind, in your heart. And Focus on it for a moment and breathe it into your heart. It's like wishing yourself well. Like, I welcome you into my heart. I accept you. I may not like you. I may wish that you're not here, but I'm welcoming you. I'm opening my heart to you. I'm breathing you in. I'm taking you in instead of pushing you away. I'm accepting you instead of rejecting you. It's a shift in attitude, a welcoming and accepting. And breathe it into the heart. And when you breathe out, compassion. You breathe out kindness. Even acknowledging this is hard. If you can name, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling grief, I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling anger, whatever the various emotions may be. I welcome them and I breathe out compassion. This is a moment of suffering. This is hard. This is part of being human. I'm not alone. Everybody goes through this at some point. Everybody's going through this. Can I be kind to myself? As I would if this was happening to a neighbor or a loved one. Can I be kind? Simple practice. Breathe it in. This is hard. There's some suffering. There's some pain here. It's difficult. I'm not alone. This is life, part of being human. And I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to be compassionate. So that's the practice. Opening to what's happening, seeing it clearly, welcoming it in your heart, and being with it with compassion. Not complicated. It's a challenge because we have other ways that we've conditioned ourselves to be, which is to shut down, to push away, judge. And it requires practice and training. And as we wish this for ourselves, as we went around and saw everybody's got some ache or pain or wound or challenge in life, we wish this kindness, compassion for everybody. We open our hearts and we include everyone. Everyone in this room, everyone at the senior center, our family, our friends, world. We all need compassion, kindness. The world as it is today. The big challenges and the pandemics, the fighting and the politics and global warming, all of that. Hatred never ceased from hatred, but by love alone. This is about loving ourselves. I love myself the way I am. I still can grow. I still can heal. I can still do better. But I'm okay right now in this moment. Things as they are. We keep our heart open and it heals us. It's medicine. When we practice mindfulness and train the mind, we're science, we're changing the brain, we're changing the immune system, we're changing the cells at the genetic level, epigenetics, neuroplasticity, the brain changes. Psychoneuroimmunology, our emotions and our immune system are connected. And then we practice compassion of the heart, and that heals us too. If you think of that veteran I saw on the screen who was healed by the unconditional friendliness of our puppy dog. And we be that way with ourselves. That's what this is teaching. Okay, open the eyes. Would you get the handouts for us? And Hmm? she has the bell. All we need is 1 minute. I'm suggesting 10. Practice. I can't emphasize enough. It's medicine. Huh? No. But I've pulled over. I actually learned TM in early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. And one of my first jobs out of college when I graduated was on Madison Avenue. Didn't last long. But I was meditating. There was no place to meditate. I used to go to the bathroom. So wherever you can get it done and find some quiet. We're going to be going over the handouts in a moment. Yes.
One thing.
Oh boy. Wonderful memories. Wonderful.
And then,
What a great life. Yes. Yeah, that is what it's all about. And that's to appreciate. And that reminds us, because what I wanted to end with was gratitude. With all of our difficulties, with all of our struggles and pains and challenges, and all the wonderful experiences we've had, and the loves and losses, and the goodness, life is good. It hurts. It's hard at times. Growing old is not easy. But I appreciate all that we have to be grateful for. Even the people that we miss, that we've lost too soon, we acknowledge what they gave us and that they're still here with us in our minds and in our hearts. So let's do a moment of that gratitude, because that's what I wanted to close with. And it's a practice. You got to remind yourself. So close the eyes again and just focus. Pick 3 things I'm grateful for. I have a lovely home. I live in Westport. My neighbor, my son, my daughter, my grandchildren, my wonderful memories. How much do we have to be grateful for? So much. And gratitude is memory too. It's sort of the opposite of, oh my God, look at all these problems I have. Look at all my woes and my worries and how hard it is, how terrible it is. It's like, wait a minute. I like to say something like, I'm so blessed to live better than 99.99% of people who've ever lived on this planet or will ever live. Just in terms of what we're afforded here in Westport, Connecticut. When we know the poverty around the world, the hunger around the world, the suffering around the world, the immigrants now running from horrors in their own countries to looking for place, whether in Europe or Central America to here, or from Afghanistan to wherever. Gratitude is important. I'm thinking of, I saw the movie Schindler's List the other day. It's on Showtime. And Westport Playhouse had to play Diary of Anne Frank. And that story ends with us saying, people are good. Life is good. I still believe in goodness, even after what she goes through. So that's always our challenge. And Viktor Frankl speaks about that. No matter what you go through, you have a choice how to face it, how to deal with it. And hopefully I gave you a few tools, skills, and attitudes and techniques of mindfulness and compassion. Not complicated. It's all in your own mind and heart. More powerful I mean, like I said to you, I'm watching this dog. This dog saved my life. She'd been to the Mayo Clinic and this clinic and that clinic and didn't help her. This dog saved. You have what you need to save your life, to live your life, to enjoy your life. I'm not saying that, of course, go to your doctors, your therapists, your rabbis, your priests. Take all the help you can get. But don't forget, the deepest strength you have is inside of you. Okay, so let me just go through this quickly to show you the handouts. Again, this has been recorded, so if you need a reminder of it, it's going to be on YouTube on the Westport Center for Senior Activity Station. And I'm going to get the link to it and make sure I send it to all of you in an email. I'll send it to you. You can watch it with your family if you'd like, Marguerite and others. And say hi to your grandson. He still gave the greatest speech I've heard when he spoke at your. Tell him I still remember. If you remember, that was an unbelievable talk. So anyway, these are the 7 intentions that we were talking about. That's number 1. I want you to read these things. Remember the teachings that go with it. This is how to do it. 10 steps to meditation. Close your eyes, sit, not too tight, not too loose. Watch your breath, repeat. 10 steps, not complicated. Be kind to yourself. Oh, this hurts. Oh, I'm not alone. Everybody who's got a body, it hurts. It's part of being human. Let me be kind to yourself like I would my neighbor or my loved one. That's all, not complicated. Be kind to yourself. Okay. This is an article I wrote, Meditation as Medication. It's medicine. It's really good for blood pressure, for pain, for a whole host of things, but not if you try to get rid of it. It's only medicine if you be with it with love. Okay. And I wanted to review this, and then we'll be done for the class. You have a thing called the benefits of meditation to remind you of all the benefits you get and how it changes the brain. So this is the last one. And I suggest you keep this one out along with all the others. This one is emotional resilience. How to bounce back, how to face our difficulties, and they strengthen us. You know this. There isn't an athlete, a business person, anybody in life knows that our difficulties are our teacher. Medicine and in life too, pain is your teacher, illness is your teacher. That's who teaches us. Norman Cousins and Maury are our teachers. And resilience. Here are the qualities, and that will end today, that we cultivate with these intentions. You need to be aware of what's going on. You have to first be aware. You have to stop and know what I'm feeling. I'm sad. I lost my brother. We have to persevere. We can't give up. We can't bury our heads in sorrow or self-pity. We have to tough it out. We have to take the licking and keep picking. Okay? We have to persevere. We have to trust, which is what I'm hoping I shared with you today, that you have the power in you. If you choose, you're in charge. Choose to deal with it. How you deal with the next trip around the world. Your trip around the world now is, how do I deal with losing my brother? How do I face that difficulty? It's a little different than facing a hurricane around the bend on the Atlantic Ocean, but nonetheless, I have to have the faith I can deal with it. Were you reaching out to your son? I know we did. Optimism. The glass is half full, guys. Same glass, same bottle. See it half full? I got a lot left. You can share it with other people. It's half empty. Oh my God, there's no more left. It's half full. Social support, the senior center, your family. You don't have to sit home alone. Be with other people. Every person here, when you shared that you lost your brother, felt for you, had compassion for you, and was reminded of their brother or their mother or their father or somebody that they loved that they lost. Because we need to share it. We're not alone. We need support. And Nick knows that. He's got a whole system supporting him. Sense of humor. You gotta laugh. Life is funny. Gotta have perspective. You gotta see things in the right perspective. A little spirituality won't hurt. Go to church, go to synagogue, read a book on philosophy. Have some perspective on life and its meaning to you. All of these keep you resilient. Let you face the difficulty and adapt and adjust and move on to the next opportunity that comes. And take care of yourself. The 7 intentions, practice your meditation, and do good and be kind and be compassionate. And you'll live a long, healthy life as long as was intended. And the last thing I want to share is it's never too late. You know who's going up to the moon this week? William Shatner. How old is he? 90 years old. He's the oldest man in space. You never know. You never know what's going to befall you. Right? You just keep breathing and practice the stuff. I've highlighted for you. It's 2 classes. It's been recorded. Very simple. 10 minutes of mindfulness. Bring yourself into the moment. A few minutes of compassion and kindness and joy and be resilient. And live those intentions. Yes.
Can I just answer about the dad very quickly? I was born in Colombia, in South America. And I never cared about this